Not much going on this time of year. Most of the leaves have already fell off on my Japanese maples and other maples. However, I did wire this little maple up. I've been growing it from seed for 3 years now. Just a little experiment, playing with it a little bit. Got my Lima Gold back here. Just about all the leaves have fell off of it. Got a azalea. Tattoo down the end. And a Triton maple I got in the grow pot. As you can see, I've got another maple hiding back there. And my air layer, it lost all its leaves. Trying some cover crops for the fall and winter this year. Trying in several beds. We'll see how it does. My wife claimed one of my beds as her little fairy garden. And my little help right here always. More cover crops. I'm hoping the cover, it'll fix some issues that I've had with my soil this year. It hadn't done quite as well. This one I'm gonna leave just bare to compare it with this one and see how much difference it does make. I added the same stuff to it. I'll perk them both back up in the spring and we'll see how they do. And a few of my other little bonsais. Got a white pine, a couple junipers over here on the end. That's the only thing we got going on in the greenhouse at the moment. Little lettuce is still growing. I got a few other ones that my wife planted a few weeks back starting to come up. And I've got some little azaleas I took from cutting. A few of them have took root. You can see that one's putting on new leaves. There's a couple in there that's got, well, it shows promise. And I moved all these little seedlings I started at the beginning of the year in here. These were the ones that were grown outside in regular, like garden soil. I've got some more that are outside now, the bigger ones, that were grown in the 3-part mix that I put together. Pine bark, peat moss, and perlite. And I'll show you the difference. This one here was grown in the greenhouse in the 3-mix soil. There's the largest one that was grown outside in the garden soil. So I liken it to both the soil and the fact it was grown in the greenhouse. But you can see the difference in the two that were planted at the same time. It's just the location and the soil mix. Huge difference. One thing I have been working on is wiring some of my other Japanese maples that's going to be grown in pots, cascading. As you can see, that's where I bent that one down a few years ago when I planted it. Same thing, I kind of wired this one down to kind of give it a cascade effect. My emerald lace here, I have it wired and a spreader trying to get these limbs apart. Hoping to do something with it. It's got beat up pretty bad here. I'm going to have to move it. It's getting the afternoon sun and it's not doing very well, so I'm going to move it in the spring. This is what I'm trying to prevent by wiring some of mine, is these crossing up here. I'm going to cut this one out to clean it up some, and I'm trying to prevent that in the future. I've only been doing this a few years, so pardon me for letting this one get this bad. This is an Acer japonicum. That's been sitting here all year. It's decided to start leafing back out again. This will be the second time this fall this leaf back out. It's done lost its leaves twice. I know it's hard on the plant. It's just our weather's so crazy around here this year. This is rose, and you can see I kind of screwed up and left a wire on this one too long. It'll heal itself and it'll cover in leaves in a few years, so it don't bother me too much. Then we got a Dragon Master over here that I purchased a couple of months ago. I've got it kind of all branched out, flowing around. When I first brought it home, they were all going in the same direction, so I'm trying to get a little spread on it. One thing you can do this time of year is collect the seeds off your Japanese maples. Got my jar. Perfect time of the year, 7B here, to go ahead and soak them in some water for 24 hours. Then put them in some soil, put them in the refrigerator for a few months. I'll pull mine out usually around March and plant them, grow them from seed. This big old Bloodgood here, as you can see how big this was. I picked this up 18 years ago, I'm sorry, at Lowe's off a clearance table for $10. Beautiful tree now. Kind of beat up right now because of fall, but huge tree now.